I've gone from playing for fun and playing for enjoying it to now sitting here and calling it my job.
Growing up, I didn't have any female role models. When the time came for me to play or be called upon, I was ready.
There's plenty of coaches that you can go to for whatever you want to find out.
I was you sitting there, and one day you can be me talking to the youngsters.
When I get to see my impact on young girls and see how excited they get, it's a really cool thing for me to kind of see come full circle.
The standard and quality of the FA Women's Super League is as high as it's ever been. We explore the impact that this is having and how investment into women's football is having an impact both on and off the pitch.
Are we there with the league yet? It's growing stronger. You see that with the league table and the results and the players that are coming, not just to this club but elsewhere. But in terms of where we're at, you know, attendances are the best they've ever been. Average attendances are up, consumer interest is up, number of broadcasted games is up, the level of media coverage is up. FA Cup final the restarted FA Cup final, you know, there was 1.9 million people watched that at the peak audience, and which is, you know, an increase on the year previous again. So every year, so bit by bit, as I said before, there's another layer.
The standards of the game are rising all of the time, and just the investment you see now across the Women's Super League and the players that have come into the league from around the world this season, standards are rising.
We've heard about how the WSL is growing and the benefits this is bringing. Just how important and relevant is the power of sport for females?
Girls and women who play sports have been found to have increased self-esteem, a more positive body image, lower depression levels, and greater confidence. So sport is integral and so important for girls and women.
Soccer is such a unique and special tool and vehicle for people to express themselves and to be part of a team, which is so valuable. So I'm just excited, and I think things are going great and can only go up from here.
The Academy provides an incredibly important platform for young girls coming into the game and aspiring to be the professional players of the future. And that's something that I'm sure the likes of Steph Houghton, Jill Scott, Karen Barsi look back on with some envious eyes compared to what it was like in their day.
The access to these amazing facilities that we have is incredible, and something that many of the senior players never had access to when they were sort of my age, so I'm very lucky to have come in at this time in women's football.
The Etihad campus is a fantastic facility, meets every young developing player's needs as well as those of the most accomplished professional players in the game, men, women, kids.
Just looked at it and thought, like, this is a place I'd love to come and learn, love to come and improve my football and be around the girls that were here now, because there was the likes of the older players, the more senior players who are also in the England squad, and like I wanted to be like them, and I thought coming here was the best place to do that. And obviously with the facilities, the place we're in right now it's incredible. It's probably like one of the best, if not the best, in obviously the UK right now.
To train every single day at facilities like this, and to be coached and managed, and to have the right medical treatment and the nutrition support.
Your psychological development, your physical development. We've got so many staff who work in those areas, multiple physios who are just looking out for you and checking in on you all the time to make sure you're developing at the rate that you can do. The support network that the club has put together is incredible, and it's likeable to that of the men's.
I feel like physically and then even just tactically, like from a learning perspective, I have so much to utilize, and it's such a great place to be, just in that sense where like you really have everything that you could ever need, and as long as you're utilizing it, there's no way that you couldn't get better.
Our team get everything that any of our other team would do, from the boys' academy to our men's team. It's exactly the same in terms of the support, the resources, the expertise, the knowledge that sits within. And I think that's been beneficial, obviously, to the players, and evident when you see them playing, not just for their club but for their country.
As a team, we're really lucky, and we know how fortunate we are that we can ice bath from day to day, we can use the cryo, we can use our gym, the men's gym. Obviously the food, breakfast, lunch, not many teams get that, so we are in a really privileged position, and I think just for performance side of things. We have everything to be able to perform at our optimal, really. Girls now have that opportunity to just be full-time professionals, focus solely on football, and I think you'll see the benefits of that in the standard of play, and hopefully at international level, with English players being better and having that environment from a younger age, hopefully we'll be able to push on the international stage and sort of reap the benefits of these opportunities that we've been given and the facilities that people have access to now from such a young age.
The great thing about the Etihad campus is it brings people together. It brings our best men and our best women together under one roof, where they can support one another, they can watch each other train. You know, you sometimes see the men dropping in to watch a women's session or vice versa. We really want to shape the future of women's football, and being alongside the men's teams and the junior teams and the women's academy really helps that.
We're just pushing each other, trying to make each other better, and I think being around here, being around the club with the staff that it's got and the facilities that we're in, it just helps it grow even more. Like, years and years ago you wouldn't expect like female football to be this big and have the facilities that it does, and it's amazing to see how much it has improved in like such a short space of time.
We've got to now focus on the girls' academy and the pathway. I think that's an important piece for the women's game in general. We've created this pathway where if you think a young girl maybe 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, was pulling on a Manchester City shirt and would maybe have a Sergio Aguero on the back, because that dream of being able to become a professional footballer at Manchester City wasn't there. It was non-existent. But now a young girl can wake up for Christmas, get a Manchester City shirt, hopefully, and have Sam Ewis, Rose Lavelle, whichever player that you want to choose, on her name, and have that tangible dream of, actually, I'm a 10-year-old girl and I want to go and play for Manchester City.
I always thought when I was younger that I'd just play for the men's team. Like, I envisaged myself playing alongside Shaun Wright-Phillips and Richard Dunn, because I never realised that there was an opportunity to be a female footballer or play in a women's team. But now obviously it's so widespread and there are so many opportunities to become a professional. I think it's incredible for girls to be able to look up and see that they can have this as a job and they can have a career in the game and they can really achieve whatever they want to in football.
We have such a good pathway through Centre of Excellences that we have here at the club to allow girls to be coached at a young age by good coaches, but also it's the normal to have a girls football team at school.
Man City was one of the first clubs to really focus on and invest heavily into its women's and girls academy structure, and it provides the opportunity for girls to come in, see a very clear route to the professional game, some simple, clear stepping stones that they can think, if I make this progress and I do well, there's the next step, there's the next one. And it makes the potential to be a professional player of the future and to play for Man City real for them.
I think we're sort of starting to get sort of the correlation between the men's and women's games, and it is exciting to see, so I hope there will be improvements in the future so that the younger generation coming up know a pathway and know that it's possible.
I look back and it was only around 15 where I thought, oh wow, I could actually probably achieve something within the game. Whereas I think now you've got young girls that are age 5, 6, even younger, dreaming of being your next Steph Houghton or things like that. So I think for me that's so exciting.
Just what is important for female representation and how can football help with this? We will hear more about inspiring the next generation in our final episode. Are you personally inspired by any of our players?
To know the incredible power that comes with being authentically them. I want women and girls to know and to see themselves represented in positions of power in corporate America, in public office, and even on the football pitch. The female athletes of the women's team, like Rose and Sam, personally inspire me and my daughter day in and day out.
For our final episode, we will hear about the future of the sport, what is needed to support those future stars, whilst continuing to develop the current first team. We'll also hear about commercial growth within women's football and the opportunities this can bring to help raise visibility and continue to grow the sport. And finally, some of our very own players will offer their own advice to any young girl who dreams of one day becoming a big name in the women's game.